My dear brothers and respected sisters, I greet you all with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All praise is due to Allah. We bear witness and we testify that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we bear witness and we testify that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his messenger and his slave. All salawats and salams be upon our Prophet, upon his noble family, his righteous companions, and all those who follow his path till the last day. My dear brothers and sisters, here we are, and this is the third week that we are talking about what is happening around the world, and especially what is happening in Palestine. It's very painful. It's a pain that all of us are feeling it. Every Muslim family and even non-Muslim family, all of us are sharing this pain. We go to bed watching those videos, what is happening to those innocent people out there. We wake up watching the same thing again and again. So this is affecting a lot of people in Australia and around the world. And we meet, we have friends, we work, colleagues that even are from Jewish community or from other communities. Because of what is happening 10,000 kilometers away, it's affecting people's friendship. It's affecting people's way of thinking. And sometimes people, some of them even go on social media and they post about their business something and they get harassed and attacked. Why you care about business now when you should post something about what's happening here, what's happening there? We have to be very careful, my dear brothers and sisters. You know, even though we feel that pain, what is happening out there, life moves on. And this is very, very important. But what is important to mention is in Australia, we have to be very careful what we say and what we do. And not just us, but also when it comes to politicians, not to have that double standard, because what happened when Hamas attacked Israel, everyone around the world condemned, you know, what happened to Israel and those families. But as soon as that's finished, and now Israel is attacking Palestine, is attacking innocent people, the same politicians are not condemning that. And what kind of message they're sending to communities in Australia is a hatred, division among communities here. And I have just been told today, this morning in southeast Melbourne, some Muslim sisters were actually harassed by some random people only because they were wearing hijab, they were wearing a scarf. So that hatred, you know, we have to be very careful, even though we live in a safe place, but sometimes because of what media is feeding us, some people, especially the young ones, they overreact sometimes and they might do stupid things that we might pay the price. And this is very important, my dear brothers and sisters. And I send this message to our politicians and to our leaders that always say the truth, because you're representing all of us, not just one category of people, but all of us. As I said, when they condemn what happened to Israel, none of us said anything. But at the same time, you have to be same politicians that condemn all those bombings on innocent people, destroying hospitals, and to the point that, you know, those mothers, they have to write the names of their children in the children's arms. Why? Just in case when they go to bed, they don't know whether they're going to wake up in the morning or not. When they wake up in the morning, they don't know whether they're going to last the day or not. And this is very sad, my dear brothers and sisters, because wars create monsters. Wars create monsters. All those soldiers that have been in a direct combat, in a war, you know, when they go back home, majority of them have mental health problems. And you know what happened in the state of Maine, in the States 3 days ago? A guy who was working for US Army, he killed 18 or 19 innocent people that he never met before, people that he never knew. And those people that died, they didn't even know him. Human life has become so cheap, human blood, as cheap as 10 cents to buy just a bullet. And no one talks about it. And you remember in 1996, I wasn't here back then, but you remember when 35 people were killed in Tasmania by this gunman, Martin Bryan. You know, before that, there were a lot of weapons even in Australia. And I am thankful to God and Australia that they banned those kind of weapons, because certain things could have happened even in Australia here. Exactly what is happening in the States. Every week, every month we hear, going to school because something happened to him. Now what he does is go take that revenge on innocent people. So all these Hollywood, Bollywood movies and all these people that went to war, when they go back, they feel that urge that they want to kill someone, subhanAllah. This is very dangerous, and that's why war brings nothing good, my dear brothers and sisters, to no one. And we have to be very, very careful. The question, $1 million question that we have is, why can we all live in peace? Why? Why do we want more land? Why do we want more power? All these weapons that we make as human beings, millions and billions of dollars that we spend, Australia spends, the United States, all the countries, is for who? Against who? Against human beings. Those weapons will not be spent to kill aliens, it's for human beings. And I told you, we have seen this, and this is nothing new. We have seen innocent people getting killed all the time. And you remember, not even 30 years ago in Bosnia, more than 300,000 people died from those Serbs. In Kosovo, 1999, which I was part of that war, more than 30,000 people died. A lot of children, 5,000 children died. Those children, what was their fault? They don't know who that politician is, who that country is, or this country. Why children have to die? That's why in Islam, even for argument's sake, there is an open war, which we don't have that. 1,000, almost 500 years ago, what did our Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, told us? You're not allowed to kill children. You're not allowed to kill women. You're not allowed to kill the religious priests. You're not allowed to cut even the trees. But now these wars have become so dirty that all they do is attack innocent people. They don't have that clean war that they used to have in the past, man to man. Now all they do is bomb hospitals, kill innocent people, and they think they're going to win this way. So it's very important to all of us, my dear brothers and sisters, to our politicians, our leaders, religious leaders, we have to demand that ceasefire immediately. And every day we pray that hopefully in the morning we wake up and we hear that news that, there's no more fighting. But that is continuing and continuing, and we're still waiting for those messages from our leaders and even religious leaders like myself. We have to stand together and not to disunite the community in Australia. Because as I said, this can be worse than September 11th. You remember what we faced after September 11th, especially as Muslims? You remember that? Every airport we used to go, every place they used to check us, they used to detain us only because my name is this, or because I have a beard, or because I look this way, or I look that way. We don't want that to happen again, especially in a country that we live, Australia. This is very, very important, my dear brothers and sisters, for yourself. And speaking of people of Palestine, you remember last 2 weeks we were collecting donations, and we will continue to collect donations even every week if it takes, until the war stops. The least that we can do to help those innocent children, to help those people, innocent people, at least getting the first aid, some medical, whatever, food, elementary things, we'll try to support them as much as we can. And I convey this message to myself and to you all. This is very important. As Muslims, we have to condemn any violence. We have to start from our own family first, because we are not able to change what is happening out there, but what we can change is ourselves, and we can change our mosque and the community that we live in, my dear brothers and sisters. So when it comes to establishing peace according to our faith, Islam, is number one, it is important to avoid violence at any cost. Islam, Muslims, we are against any form of violence, especially when it comes to against innocent children, innocent people. Islam is against it, my dear brothers and sisters. And you know, our Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, those people who are the most faithful are those who are restrained from violence. Number two, Islam goes even beyond this. This is Islam, that we are not allowed to even hunt animals for sport. You know, if you go hunting, you don't take that animal home to eat, but you just hunt because, for sport, for fun. That is not allowed in our faith, Islam. Number two, it's always, we have to think well of others. That's in Islam. This is very, very important. And our Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, be aware of suspicion, for suspicion is the most false of tales. And why I mention this hadith, because most of media nowadays are controlled by certain people, by certain countries. They invest a lot of money on social media just to provoke people, innocent people that don't understand what is happening around the world. This is very, very important. Number three, and I want to mention this quickly, when it comes to brotherhood. We talked about what is happening out there and how we can relate, what we can do here. This is the question that we have to ask ourselves. I know three things I told you before. Number one is always to pray for them. Number two, to support financially, that we are doing on a personal level, even as a mosque. And number three, to speak up the truth. And this is very, very important. But what we can learn here, as I mentioned in the beginning, that war can never bring anything good. What does Islam teaches us, my dear brothers and sisters? What did our Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, told us? كُلُّكُم مِّنْ آدَمْ وَآدَمْ مِّن تُرَابٍ. And he said, all of you are from Adam, and Adam is created from dust. And I want to mention this on purpose, because the hatred that I can see between two parties here, we hate everyone and they hate all of us, and this is wrong. I told you I have friends that belong to other communities, and they are the ones that condemn what is happening in Palestine. Even rabbis, I have friends, some rabbis, and this is, I want to make this distinction here, that Jewish community and Zionist regime are two different things. Remember this. We have a strong Jewish community in New York, in the United States. They're protesting with Palestine, with Muslims in the street condemning what is happening out there. So we are not allowed to put all of them in the same basket. And I know some people might say, no, this is what you're saying. I'm saying, and it's not easy to say this, but we Muslims, we understand this better than anyone. Since September 11, you remember, some crazy person was doing something. Media used to tell us all Muslims are terrorists. All Muslims are doing this. That is wrong, my dear brothers and sisters. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what did He tell us? Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum shu'uban wa qabail. O you people, we have created first from male and female. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. And we have made you peoples and tribes so you may know one another. This message is for us in Australia here. Very, very important. We have to respect one another. But at the same time, we have to expose, even within our families, even within our community, any oppressor, anyone that violates anyone's rights. We should be the one to expose them. But not only when it comes to a particular case, even within Muslim community. If we know someone is doing something wrong, Islam is not different here and different over there. Islam is the same. We apply Islam in our daily life. So we expose those people, we speak up when it comes to injustice. And you remember, I was very disappointed when it comes to the referendum for the Aboriginal people. This is their land that we are living in. And majority of people were against that referendum. And myself, if it was for the good of the people of this land, we Muslims should have supported that. Even though some people say there are a lot of politics behind that referendum, Allah knows best. But what I'm saying is, if it's good to help that community, we Muslims should be the first one out there supporting them. And this is very important, my dear brothers and sisters. And also, what did our Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, told us? لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. No one has believed properly until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. And also, I want to mention one story that happened during the time of Ali. You know, the fourth caliph of Muslims? And this is the justice and tolerance of Muslims during the time of the companions of the Prophet and even the Prophet himself. You remember, Ali was the leader of all Muslims during that time. And he lost his armor. He lost his armor. And then he saw a man carrying his armor. And he happened to be a Jew. He said, that armor that you're carrying is mine. He said, how can you tell this is yours? No, this is mine. Even though he was the leader of Muslims, he asked him nicely that the armor you're carrying is actually mine. He said, no, I don't accept this. Let's go to court. Let's go to court. The court that who established? This leader himself. And the judge was named Shuraih. Ali put that judge there. When they went in front of this judge, Ali said, "O judge, the armor that this person is carrying is actually mine." And the judge said, "It might be yours. It looks like it's yours. But when it comes to in front of the law, in front of the court, you need witnesses. Do you have two witnesses?" He's saying to who? To the leader to the president of all Muslims. He said, "Yes." One of the servants came front and said, "Yeah, that armor belongs to Ali." He said, "Okay, where's your second witness?" He said, "Second witness, I only have my two sons, Hassan and Hussein." He brought them forth, Hassan and Hussein, the two sons of Ali, said, "This armor belongs to my father." Shuraih, the person who was appointed by this leader, said, "I'm sorry, I respect your sons, but they cannot be witnesses in court." He said, "What are you talking about? They are my sons." Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, praised these two grandsons of his. He said, "I understand that from the religious point of view, but in front of court, in front of the judge, you need another witness. that is not related to you. They're your sons. They can say anything. Ali was not able to provide another witness. And you know what he said? Ali accepted the judgment of that judge. And he said, okay, since I'm not able to provide any more witnesses, the armor belongs to you. As soon as the court finished, the Jew was following this leader, Ali, and he said, stop a little bit, stop. He said, where is it? He said, by Allah, this armor is yours. This armor is yours. And the way that you behaved yourself, even though you're a leader, you can take that armor by force from me. No one could say anything. But you went through court, through a judge that you appointed, you agreed with his decision. Now I want to give this armor back to you. And at the same time, I want to embrace Islam, because this is the justice that this religion has. This is the justice that Islam has. When it comes to in front of court, doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a religious leader, whether you're a normal person, we're all equal, my dear brothers and sisters. And this is very, very important. Another thing that I wanted to say before we conclude is, as I mentioned last week, even some mosques in Adelaide were attacked, I think, in the last few days. I don't know who attacked them, random people, because of this hatred that is built. Please, around mosques, around Islamic schools, around houses, be careful, and especially for those sisters that wear hijab. They have to be extra careful nowadays. And we are trying to minimize this hatred that is happening even within our own community. We have people that called me. You know, they say we couldn't sleep at night. What is happening? And wallahi, I am among those people that there are nights I cannot sleep. Why? Because no one, if you have a heart, you must feel what those people are feeling over there. If you have children, imagine your children, you putting your children's name in their arms, knowing that you might not find them tomorrow, or you might not be alive, or they might be burned. And the only way to identify them was just to see their names that are written in their arms. Wallahi, this is too much. It's too much for every single one of us. And I know especially that the young ones is creating a lot of mental health problems. Wallahi, it's sad. So we have to pray day and night for Allah to make it happen, so this war can stop. And all those oppressors and all those killers and murderers to be brought in front of justice in this world, and if not, at least in front of God in the hereafter. So let us all pray together. Oh Allah, help those people of Palestine, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, be with those people who are oppressed, wherever they are, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Make us of those that we always pray for them, support them financially, and be among those that always speak the truth, no matter against who that truth is against, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Make us of those that we are united in these times of difficulties, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Make us of those that we think of those people who are less fortunate, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Make us of those that we love, we respect, we advise each other only for your sake, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Make us of those that we feed ourselves with halal food, so all our prayers can be accepted, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Make us of those that we follow your book and the sunnah of your prophet until our last breath, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Make us of those that our last words in this world to be La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Make us of those that we will be able to drink from the hawd of the Prophet on the Day of Judgment, Ya Rabbal Alameen. And make us of those who will live next to the Prophet in Jannah, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ameen, Ameen. وقولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفره سيستغفر الله إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.